There's a great way to find out where you can get delivery and takeout food in Tacoma. The Emergency Food Network is working overtime, and you might notice a change or two at City of Tacoma parks. All that and more coming up next on Tacoma Report. Hi, and welcome to this edition of Tacoma Report. I'm Lane Fickey. Additional financial relief for the community is available through the Tacoma Public Utilities Emergency Assistance Program. Since the program launched with $1 million in funding, nearly 10,000 TPU and Environmental Services residential customers have applied for the funds. This response prompted the need to increase the total funding to $2.4 million across the 5 utilities. This program provides a one-time utility credit for eligible single-family households. Customers in need of assistance can apply for the utility credit on the TPU website. As of May 11th, more than $122 billion in Paycheck Protection Program funds were still available for small businesses impacted by the COVID-19 outbreak, and almost $60 billion in approved loans have been made by small lenders in round 2. This is nearly double the $30 billion that was set aside for small lenders defined in the PPP and Healthcare Enhancement Act. The latest updates and data are available on the SBA's website. The City of Tacoma has joined a regional effort to place Puget Sound food businesses on a map so that diners can locate restaurants open for takeout and delivery. It's searchable by location throughout Pierce, King, and Snohomish counties. To use the map, enter your location or drop a pin to find the available restaurants nearby. Once you select a restaurant, you can place a takeout or delivery order directly through the app, or you can receive directions to the restaurant. Now, if you're a business owner and want to add your firm to the map, please send an email to this website for instructions. May is Food Awareness Month, and the timing of this need couldn't be more important than right now during the COVID-19 pandemic. One organization that is working nonstop through all of this is the Emergency Food Network.
1 in 7 people in Pierce County and 1 in 5 kids were already food insecure before this happened. And when we look at unemployment rates, upwards of 30% predictions, that increase for the emergency food system is just devastating.
EFN reached out to foundation partners and donors early on and were able to do some large-scale buying, which included over 12,000 emergency boxes, each one containing about 18 meals. It also bought truckloads of food to get a head start on the influx of people who would need food assistance.
Currently, there's about 70 food pantries in Pierce County that are still up and operating, which is, I think, phenomenal considering what a pivot there's been. And those food pantries are reporting anywhere from a quarter more business to double to some 3/4. It just is kind of depending by geographic. Some of our food pantries also, to help with social distancing, went to, instead of giving food out every single week, they went to giving out food every 2 weeks. So they packed bigger boxes. It is very, very busy here. We have less volunteers than we typically do just because we're trying to keep up and running and safe. But we are still we're buying food, we're distributing food, we're taking in food. Basically, whenever anyone calls me right now and says, I've got something, I'm like, I want it. So we're really just trying to use every way possible to get food out to the community because we know how desperately needed it is.
The Emergency Food Network can always use the public's assistance, whether it's donations of either food or cash, as well as volunteers, with EFN stressing the importance of keeping everyone, including volunteers, workers, and clients, safe. More information can be found on their website. On May 14th, the Washington Potato Farmers Association partnered with the Tacoma Dome, the Emergency Food Network, and the City of Tacoma to provide more than 200,000 pounds of free potatoes to people in need during the COVID crisis. The spuds were originally for restaurants and other food service establishments who are now closed. But the association and its member farmers realized that this overstock of potatoes could feed many during these tough economic times and therefore made them available for distribution. Volunteers from across the community helped bag and load the potatoes for people who came to the Dome. Additionally, many food banks were also able to arrange for pickup of pallets of potatoes for their clients. And while on the subject of food, Whether you're growing from pots on an apartment balcony, in raised gardens in your backyard, or if you're part of a community garden, growing your own food can be rewarding. According to the National Gardening Association, the Tacoma planting season starts wrapping up in May. Seeds or starters, the choice is yours, but now is the time to get those plants in the ground. World War II Victory Garden supplied food to many homes. Times are a little different now, but the NGA says the stay-at-home quarantine order may also be a great time to introduce the kids to the science of agriculture in your backyard, and with fresh fruits and veggies too. The City of Tacoma created a homeless outreach team in 2017 to address the impacts of people experiencing homelessness in our community. Despite the current pandemic, the team is still on the streets making contact and recommending services for those affected. Tacoma Report's Jason Plute has the story.
The Homeless Outreach Team is a task force of Tacoma Police Department officers, mental health specialists, and outreach workers who work in concert to address the impacts of homelessness to people living in and around encampments.
A lot of them are aware of the services that are available, but the engagement and consistency is key. So sometimes it'll take 1 to 10 times for our staff to go out and do outreach so that they have trust with them. So we had one individual, it was the 11th time that someone came out and they finally started feeling comfortable to share their story and to what their barriers were. We identified they were a veteran and were able to connect them to the supportive veteran services to get them housed.
Tacoma Police Department and the city's Neighborhood and Community Services Department jointly resource the team and help connect people experiencing homelessness with shelter options, programs, and services.
The HOT team primarily focuses in the downtown business district. So our community liaison officers help us. They're another partner out in the districts where they'll go out and they'll contact homeless camps if they're small ones, and then they'll refer them to us if it's people that need assistance from the HOT team. But I think overall, it's made a difference. I think it starts from the very top, from city management. They're very supportive of what we do. The council is very supportive. Our chiefs are very supportive of this unit. I think if you were to have gone around a couple years ago with a camera, you would have seen encampments all over the place that were just right next to the main roads. You don't see that so much anymore. They do pop up, but pretty much now it's 1s, 2s, and 3s, and we'll reach out and we'll try and handle it at that level.
For more information about the city's efforts to address homelessness, visit cityoftacoma.org/homelessness. For Tacoma Report, I'm Jason Plute.
To report an encampment, call the city at 311 or go online to the Tacoma First webpage. Now, if you're experiencing an emergency or feel threatened, always call 911. And as a reminder, residents should never clean up an encampment on public or private property that they don't own. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll tell you about some changes that are taking place this summer for the Tacoma Pride Festival. Stay with us. Welcome back to Tacoma Report. The city's Public Works Department will be holding a virtual Zoom webinar pre-construction open house for the Taylor Way Rehabilitation Project. The virtual event will be held on Wednesday, May 27th from noon to 1 p.m. Taylor Way is a vital freight corridor for the Port of Tacoma, and the work includes reconstructing the State Route 509 and Taylor Way intersection. The project is expected to begin in June of 2020 and will last approximately 14 months. To submit a question before the event or to register for the virtual open house, visit the city's website. May is Historic Preservation Month, and this year it will leverage the technology of today to take you on a tour of the past. Due to the pandemic, the city and the 2020 event sponsors have chosen a new age approach to take people back in time through virtual tours and online programs. For a full list of events, visit them online. Summer events in Tacoma will be taking on a different look and feel due to the COVID-19 crisis. One of these being the ever-popular Tacoma Pride Festival. Organizers have announced that there will not be a large street gathering this year. Instead, Pride will be celebrated throughout Tacoma during the month of July with Points of Pride. People are encouraged to shop and visit organizations that support the LGBTQ community. Smaller events are also planned that will allow for social distancing. The City of Tacoma continues to be a strong supporter of the Pride Festival and will once again fly the rainbow flag over the Tacoma Dome, as well as the Tacoma Municipal Building. For more information about this year's event, go to tacomapride.org. As a way to help reduce budgetary expenses, the city's Public Works Department is scaling back on irrigation zones in city-operated parks. As a result, grassy areas may not be as green as people are used to seeing, and these areas will go dormant as the summer season begins. The department will continue to use zones that water shrubs and tree beds. Community members may also notice that water features in city-operated parks will not be operational as well. These changes will remain in effect until further notice. For a full list of affected parks, visit the city's site. Governor Inslee recently relaxed some outdoor activities throughout the state, including fishing. The Les Davis Fishing Pier has always been a go-to destination on Tacoma's waterfront, which will probably be quite inviting to many people. We find out more in this report from Dave Gordon.
Jutting out into Commencement Bay, along Tacoma's Ruston Way waterfront, is a maritime gem many take for granted, the Les Davis Fishing Pier. This 300-foot structure of wood, steel, and concrete is a joint project built by the City of Tacoma and the Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife. It's more than a pier to hook the big one. It's also a tourist curiosity for folks to get out on the planks to capture those gorgeous scenic views of our area.
Well, it's my first time here in Washington, and I think it's a very cool experience to be out here. And it has a beautiful view, too. It's something different. The weather is definitely different.
I liked Lake Davis Pier because there isn't too many people and the pier is really big, so I can be by myself.
This structure was built in 1983 and is named for an avid Tacoma fisherman and owner of a local fishing tackle company, Les Davis. The pier stands among the rocks and the sand of the bay, where fishing ranges from sea perch and flounder to crab and even squid.
Well, I started fishing just last summer. I was trying to catch salmon after I started getting a hang of it, but I caught a lot of bottom fish. I caught a lot of rockfish that I had to throw back.
It's not to say that the pier, which actually looks like a giant T, isn't exactly a quiet day on the water. There's a railway along the shore and a well-traveled road for the motorists leading to the heart of the city.
But this pier is probably by far one of the biggest and quietest, so I like it.
It was built for fishing, complete with fish cleaning stations, rod holders, seating, and lots of pigeons.
In addition to being a fishing pier, Les Davis also has a concession area, a picnic area, a wonderful place to go hiking and walking, and even a scuba launch place too. Right here in Tacoma. For Tacoma Report, I'm Dave Gordon.
Due to COVID-19 and cutbacks in services, Metro Parks Tacoma closed many outdoor facilities, such as parking access and restrooms. However, as per the governor's order, officials ask visitors to be responsible and practice social distancing, even while fishing for that big one. And finally, Puget Sound residents recently retreated to a flyover by two Joint Base Lewis McChord Globemaster cargo planes. This was done to honor all of the healthcare workers who have been so heroic during the COVID-19 crisis. As we leave you today, we've got some video of the planes as they flew over the state capitol in Olympia before making their way to many points across the region, including flying over Tacoma General, St. Joseph's, and Allen Moore hospitals in Tacoma. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Tacoma Report. I'm Lane Fickey.